You may have this problem. No, you speak for 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, or 10 minutes, and then you aren't able to continue more. Your English quota is finished. To be a better communicator, you should have habits of better communicators. It is the habits that decide your English, not anything else, not grammar or no app or nothing else. Your habits make a big change. Hey, hi there. These are the 5 habits which I developed in me, and today I'm a better communicator. These 5 habits have changed the way I communicate. Understand? Look at my video. This was 2016. You can't give those fake or Googled or answers which are. This was on YouTube actually. How was it? You can feel that fluency, that flair was not there. I was confident, but that fluency was not there. But if you see my video today, you can feel the change. You can see what exactly is the change between that video and today's video. Now, if you go back 2010, my version was very old version with not better English. 2005, more. I was very poor in English. And 2002, I just started my career in this communication training. In this around 20 plus years, one change I did was that changing my habits. And today I'm going to tell you these five important habits. These habits change the way I communicate. Hey, understand, they are habits, and habits are consistent. Habits never stop. Habits are for lifetime, and that is what I'm going to share. So first habit I acquired is this. You will be surprised. The first habit is, first I started to communicate. First I started to speak. I was not good in English. Still I started to speak. So this is the first habit you have to inculcate. That is to start speaking, even though if your English is good or not good. Because speaking is the first step. Speaking, when you start speaking, you start getting better. The more you speak, the better you get. The better. Even you are making some mistakes, still no problem. First is the speaking. And I started to speak. I was working as an engineering teacher actually in 2002. And I started communicating in English. Purposely, I would decide that today I'll speak for 15 minutes out of 1 hour. And I would speak for 15 minutes at the beginning. Then I gave my option. I gave myself that leniency, that freedom I gave that, if I want to continue, otherwise I will speak in Marathi. During those days, other professors, they were not doing this. And I was doing that. And then that 15 minutes became half an hour after maybe 3 or 4 months. And that half an hour changed into entire 1 hour. I was you may have this problem. No, you speak for 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, or 10 minutes, and then you aren't able to continue more. Your English quota is finished. Your vocabulary, your sentences are exhausted. Same thing used to happen to me. And after that, I used to jump to my mother tongue. And this continued. But I decided that I will start 15 minutes. And I started. 15 minutes timer was there. I would continue for 15 minutes. Sometimes I used to speak wrong English. Maybe I don't know what students realized. Maybe they have figured out whether I was right or not. I don't know, but I was just speaking. But I never felt like students were judging me. Maybe they were not good in English. Maybe they couldn't recognize that I was making a mistake or not. But anyway, so this is how I started. And this is what you have to do today. Today, I speak around 7 to 8 hours in English. Maximum I speak in English. Wherever I go, I'm speaking. I try to speak in English. Of course, I can't speak outside here. I can't go in a grocery shop and speak in English or at a filling station. No. Wherever possible, in home, in my office, my online sessions, my interviews, I speak in English. That's the key factor. That's the big change I did. Second change I did. Now I'll tell you something personal. In 2002, as I said, my English was pathetic. And I think all of you have gone through this. You are also students. You were also a student at some phase of your life. Many of my colleagues, those professors, they would go to canteen and they would gossip there for 1 hour, 2 hours. That whole group used to go. I stopped that. I stopped that and I acquired this new habit. This is like 45 to 15 ratio I started. See here, the ratio is 45 to 15. 15 minutes I used to read loudly. Anything, whatever I used to get my hands on. Newspapers, storybooks, whatever it is. 15 minutes loudly, 45 minutes in mind. And in that 45 minutes, I used to do another activity, vocabulary journaling. I'd keep my vocabulary journal always there with me. So this was the third habit. Second habit was reading, but 15 to 45 ratio. 15 minutes loudly, 45 minutes in mind. And then the third habit was I just used to write my journal, vocabulary journal by hand. No smartphones, no tablets, nothing. Even today I have 11 vocabulary notebooks. 11 vocabulary notebooks. I used to write them. I used to write down the important quotes, important vocabulary, important idioms, everything, the slangs and all that stuff was available in that particular text which I was reading. This took my vocabulary to the next level. So this was a very powerful method I used. Really, it helped me. All right. Now, another habit I acquired, but I couldn't acquire this habit in the year 2002. I started this around, you can say, 2010 onwards, because after that, 2008 or 10, maybe around that, I don't remember exactly, I started listening podcast. And that made a sea change, a big change in my fluency, in my sentence construction, in my vocabulary, in my knowledge, everything changed. What I used to do is, wherever I would go, while driving, while working out in gym, while waiting at the ATM, while waiting in the bank, while traveling by bus, wherever I used to get time, I used to plug in my earphones and listen to a podcast. Many a times it was so boring and dull, and I couldn't understand anything. I used to just listen wherever possible. While traveling, I'd listen. While waiting for someone, I'd listen. You'll be surprised, I never wasted a single minute also. Whenever I would get that time, I would listen. Even during those days, I used to go to buy vegetables. Now I don't have time. But during those days also, I would listen to a podcast while buying vegetables also. I used to pause while buying the vegetable. I used to again start when I finished that stuff, buying vegetable. I used to walk from one vendor to another vendor. In this way, I never wasted my single minute. At ATM, when others were listening to music, I was listening to a podcast. While, waiting at a hospital in the waiting room, I used to listen to a podcast. That made a change, big change. In this 12 to 14 years, it made a big change in my communication. This was my another fourth habit, and my fifth habit was this, which again made a big change in my vocabulary, my confidence, my speaking speed, as well as my vocabulary also. That is, I used audio plus physical book at the same time. Now today also I use it, regularly I use it. What I do is I buy an audiobook from any app. You can use whichever you feel like. You can go with Storytel, you can go with Audible, whatever it is. I use Audible. And I used to take that audiobook, download the audiobook, and I used to buy the physical book. And now what I do is I read the physical book first. Same ratio is there, 15 to 25 ratio. 15 to 45 ratio, sorry. Understood? 15 to 45 ratio. Now, after I finish one chapter, now I used to take that audio and the book together. Audio and book. Fine. I would play both the things at the same time. Audio plus physical. That helped me to understand the accent, the pronunciation, the sentence structure, and the book thoroughly. This was my fifth habit. Made a big change. And that is my favorite habit. Out of these 5, which habits you have? Understand a very important point. If you want to be a better communicator, you should have habits of better communicators. It is the habits that decide your English, not anything else, not grammar or no app or nothing else. Your habits make a big change. Come on. This is the secret of my English. Okay. Hope you're going to follow that. Take care. Bye bye.